Hey everyone, Brian here from Great Lakes Backpacker, and right now I'm standing here on the shore of beautiful Manistee River in northern Michigan. My buddy and I just pulled up here in the parking lot about 10 minutes ago, and we're going to be heading out for 3 days of backpacking on the Manistee River Trail and the North Country Trail. Actually, it's a loop hike. A little bit of information about the trail. On the west side of the Manistee River, over on this side, is the North Country Trail, and about a quarter mile this way is the trailhead for the Manistee River Trail. And together they form what's called the Manistee River Loop. Altogether, I've seen the loop is about 21 to 23 miles. I've hiked this trail once before. I did it once a couple years ago with my son, and gorgeous stretch of trail here. Alright, well, we have come through the connector trail from the main highway to heading towards the North Country Trail. Actually, North Country Trail right behind us here, and we've got to go from where we are up to the top of the ridge. I don't know if you can see it out there in the distance, but we've got to get up to the ridge there, and then the North Country Trail heads north from here. On the way in, we were coming down North Coates Highway after we parked the car right by the boat launch there on the other side of the river. There were some people from the National Park Service and also a group from the Leave No Trace organization. They had a tent set up trying to educate hikers on the Leave No Trace principles and being considerate of people in the backcountry, and stopped and talked to them for a little bit and continued on our way. And so now we're here. You can see that we're officially heading for the North Country Trail. To the right. So as you can see, we just crested the top of the hill that we were hiking up. I don't know what the elevation change was, but it was a pretty steep ascent. Fairly short though. And we're now officially on the North Country Trail. And the interesting thing about the North Country Trail is that it has endpoints in New York and then another one in central North Dakota. And in between, 4,600 miles of trail. So everyone knows about the Appalachian Trail and the Pacific Crest Trail and the Continental Divide Trail, some of those other long distance hikes. But the North Country Trail, like I said, 4,600 miles from end to end. And we're actually hiking a portion of that right now. Yeah, you can tell this road really hasn't been used very much. Yeah.
Don't see any bike tracks.
No. Alright, as you can probably tell from the sweat on my forehead, it's rather hot out here today. I think when we left the car it was mid-80s. I think the temperature is supposed to hit about 92 today, and the humidity is actually pretty high too, so It's kind of warm out here. It's kind of actually sapping some energy a little bit, but we passed a couple hikers a little ways back. They showed us a map, and I think we're probably about halfway. So we're stopping here, grab a snack, grab some water, kind of refresh, cool down a little bit. There's not much of a breeze here anymore. And then after that, we're going to head back on the North Country Trail and keep going north. You know, the one thing we notice here on the North Country Trail, the trail is actually very nice. It's well traveled. It's hard to miss it, and they've actually got a lot of blue blazes. If you couldn't follow the trail under your feet, which I think is probably pretty hard to do, you still couldn't get lost because they've got blue blazes painted on trees frequently. There's been several spots along the trail where you look up ahead and you can actually see 2 or 3 blazes ahead of you. So the trail's actually fairly well marked. Well, we just took a break back there a little ways, and we came up another uphill section here. And unfortunately, I think the heat's really taken its toll because we're both really warm, sweating quite a bit, a little tired from the some of the uphill sections here. Nothing real strenuous, but I think the heat is really kind of adding to the effect. And we just stopped here in this little plateau after coming up this last uphill section. There's a nice breeze up here now, so we're kind of cooling off in the breeze. Well, we're continuing our trek on the North Country Trail, and a short time back we ended up coming across a husband and wife hiking along southbound with their golden retriever. It was right when we crested that hill, stopped and took a break in the nice breeze, and we checked out their map, looked at it, and found out that we're probably about 3 miles from the Eddington Creek River, which is where our next water stop is. So figure that's about hour and a half hike for us. It'll be nice to actually stop for an extended break, get some water to drink, resupply the bottles, and then actually not too far after that, I think is probably where we're going to be stopping for the night. Like I said earlier, it's been hot today, but fortunately on this North Country Trail we've been hiking under a lot of shade. It's still warm, don't get me wrong, but the shade is nice, not being in the direct sunlight. The only problem is we're really not getting very many breezes down here. You can hear the wind shaking the trees up above us, but most of that breeze isn't really reaching us down here. So it'll be nice to make it to Eddington Creek and stop and get some water and rejuvenate. This is our, I think, 3rd road crossing of the day. A little 2-track up that way, a little 2-track back this way. And it continues down that way. And the trail's up there. We just checked the map and it looks like we've got maybe another mile or so to go before we get to Eddington Creek, which will be nice because the water is quickly dwindling. Alright, well, as you can see, we've arrived at the Eddington Creek Bridge. A welcome sight. It's been a long, hot day, and did something that I normally don't do on most hiking trips. I actually burned through most of actually all 64 ounces of water I was carrying. So it's a good time to stop and replenish because we haven't seen any other sources of water other than the creek that's behind us right now. So perfect time to stop, and then we're going to continue across the bridge. The campsite hopefully is going to be a little ways back this way. Shouldn't be too much longer. We'll be set up for the night and done hiking. Camp somewhere up in there, find a spot to hang our hammocks, and just a few yards away we've got a view like this. Unfortunately there's power lines, but this is a nice view from up here on this high point. And it's good to know we're done for the night. Okay, it's about 10 after 6 right now. It's been about 45 minutes or so since we got into camp here. We found this nice little place to camp for the night. And we got a few of the things set up, the hammocks, changed into some other clothes, got the boots off, sitting back relaxing, had a couple snacks to kind of rejuvenate. Now that we've cooled down a little bit, feel a little better, and just kind of laying here, relaxing, taking in the view. So before dinner, and before I get too lazy to actually go and document anything else, I think I'll give you a tour of the campsite here. It's a nice one. So this is the view from my hammock. You can see that over here, previous visitors have set up a few logs for seats. And in the middle there, they actually got some rocks around the fire pit. I haven't looked around for much for firewood, so I don't know if there's much around here, but the pit is there. And right behind the tree there, there's a dirt trail that goes down the hill. We're actually kind of up at the top of a hill. Got the hiking boots set out there, drying out in the breeze. And like I said, you look down the hill there. We're kind of a little ways up here. And here's another angle. Got my hammock over there. Backpack's hung up in the back there. I got a makeshift clothesline up over there between a couple trees to dry some clothing out. Like I said, it's been very hot today. This is the short little trail that we walked in on. So we're set up back in there. And like I said, just a short distance away, come out here, and we've got a view like that. It is nice out here, very peaceful, and like I said, we got a nice breeze blowing through here, so hopefully we're not going to have too many problems with the bugs tonight, and the breeze is nice, keeping us cool. The temperature out here is actually still 87 degrees, but the breeze is keeping it nice.